Hut 1, Hut 2, Hut 3. Oh no, false start. Yeah. Past 2 weeks, had to do different play, call an audible, but like I always say, let's do it again. But as I am just that voice on your device getting you to the next week of fantasy football, I am very excited. It is October 1st, and this is Scott Lieberman and Coach Couch Fantasy Football Talk. That's right, folks. Welcome back to five-time fantasy football champion Scott Lieberman. That's me, providing the X's and O's and I's and T's and whatever else you need to effectively optimize your lineups for your fantasy football squads. It is week 5. Dun 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 dun. Is the injury bug upon us? It seems to be the case. What is going on this year? Is the Madden curse real? One could argue, yes, Christian McCaffrey being on the cover has ignited a whole slew of guys dropping like flies. You got guys like A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, although he's back, Rashee Rice, Anthony Richardson, maybe Jonathan Taylor, and without Tua Tagovailoa, what is to come of that Miami offense? Oh my God. Is it time to sell Tyreek? This is why I always say that nobody wins their league in the draft. You can get A's, B's, C, D's. It does not matter. I know it's a bit of a pride pusher and pride pumper to brag to your friends that you had the better draft. At the end of the day, it is all about playing that waiver wire, folks, and that's what brings us here together today. The inevitable task of playing the waiver wire. That's right. Who fills that void? Not to mention bye weeks have started. Well, that is why I am here. Just to give you a heads up, new episodes will be online every Tuesday where you can listen on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, and Amazon Music. Also, I wanted to make a correction in my previous episode title counts. It is week 5, and I know in the past weeks I've labeled them week 3 and week 2, even though we are currently in the weeks thereafter. So basically, I will title this week 5 as we are in week 5, and even though we're going to discuss a little bit of a recap of week 4, we are currently week 5, so we're going to keep it current from here. We are talking week 4 recap, but we are currently in week 5. Follow? Great. Just a shout out to my wife, first of all, going back to the whole injury thing. 0-4 in our league. She's pretty pissed about that, to say the least. She's a very competitive, fiery type of person who wants to win, and who can blame you? She has the 4th highest point total in our league. Years ago, a buddy of mine finished with the first highest point total and finished 8th place, so I bought him a set of batting helmets to make his day as a consolation prize. But yeah, 4th highest point total in the league, 10-team league, top 6 will make it to the playoffs. Jacqueline, just hold on, your day is coming. This is a good first topic segue, of course, because of injuries. That seems to be the case every single week we're working with. All right, so just to give you an overview, her roster is Mahomes, A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, David Montgomery, Kyron Williams, Trey McBride, who just suffered a concussion, Chuba Hubbard, Brian Thomas Jr., and yada, yada, yada. This year has gotten out of hand for many folks. I just lost Rashee Rice in one of my 4 leagues. The solution? You have to play the waiver wire. Make some trades. Feel like you're in a bit of a pickle and can't find a way to escape? Shoot for the stars. Offer somebody something. Make this ridiculously, who knows, blockbuster trade that you know somebody's going to say no to, but they may have no choice but to counter offer. That just gets the conversation going. You got to get something started to add fuel to the fire. And while we're on the topic, Pat Mahomes, while a Hall of Fame career not in question, he is having a bit of a subpar year. That offense is moving very syrupy, you could say. Very slowly dripping across the football field, molasses-like. There's not much gelling there. Rashee Rice is out right now. They are also without Hollywood Brown for the year. So, at least till the playoffs. Now, Pat Mahomes, you're paying for the name, as they say. You know, guys like Sam Darnold and Justin Fields, they may actually help you get over the hump. Now, I would have said that in years past, but yes, dare I say it, you may want to sit Patrick Mahomes this week, not drop him, but sit him, get a flyer for a few weeks and see what that does for your roster while the Chiefs' offense needs to get healthy. Eagles are on a bye. A.J. Brown should be good to go after that. Deebo's since returned. McBride should be back from injury, but from what I know, he's questionable for the week. But let's talk about that Chiefs offense real quick, shall we? For weeks I've been saying Kelsey's been underperforming, but to keep playing him. And right I was. He just had his best game of the season, 7 of 9 for 89 yards this past week. And there's no slowing down in him, especially for the weeks to come. With Rashee Rice out of the lineup and no Hollywood Brown, Pat Mahomes can rely on one guy when it comes to downfield throws. That should only improve after losing the wide receiver to injury. On the flip side of everything, you may want to try and trade bait Kelsey if you have him. If you need some extra pieces to add to your puzzle. Because I have a good feeling that Kelsey's going to play like vintage Kelsey in the weeks to come. That is my suggestion. See what people say, see what people need, and see what you can get for it. You should be able to get a nice little return investment for that because nobody's going to say no to Travis Kelsey. However, you may want to make that a package deal. Also, as this is a new show, I've been trying to figure out different ways to creatively format it. I'm experimenting right now. So as we go along, we're going to finalize some ways that the show is going to roll from start to finish, of course. It's started out with some sleepers, studs, duds, things like that. Today I want to try something new. We're going to do a game-by-game basis and have a segment, and I'm going to call it 3 for the money, 3 for the no. Money starts, no's sit. And just a disclaimer on the sits. So even though I recommend sitting some of these guys, starting them may not be a bad idea also. I just don't think that they're going to get as many points as my money players. So without further ado, here are my picks, and we start. Let's start out with Thursday's game. We got Bucks at Falcons. So my Bucks money makers, I'm going to take Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin. My Bucks nose, Rashad White, Bucky Irving, and Cade Otton. I just think those two running backs in the same backfield, trading tit for tat, I don't know if it's going to bode well for them, one person getting more dominant points than the other. My Falcons money guys, Bijan Robinson, Darnell Movies getting peppered with passes by Kirk every week, and Drake London. Falcons nose, Kirk Cousins, Tyler Algier, and Kyle Pitts. Next game, Jets versus Vikings. Hello, London early game. The Jets moneymakers, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and Garrett Wilson. Yes, Breece Hall and Braylon Allen are coming to somewhat of a timeshare, but both have a significant amount of looks each game for passes in your PPR leagues, and that's why I think that they're good starts, even together. My Jets nose, Aaron Rodgers, Alan Lazard, and Mike Williams. My Vikings moneymakers, Justin Jefferson, obviously, Sam Darnold, and Aaron Jones. Even in a mismatch, Justin Jefferson, you got to start him every week. Vikings nose, Ty Chandler, Jordan Addison, and Jalen Naylor. Panthers at Bears. My Panthers moneymakers, Andy Dalton, Chuba Hubbard, at least till Jonathan Brooks is ready to go. And then Deontay Johnson. He's had 2 great weeks, and I don't see any signs of him slowing down. My Panthers nose, Xavier Legette. Again, this is a guy who I don't think is going to get as many looks as Deontay Johnson, but he could have a bit of a solid day, so that's kind of like a maybe no. Miles Sanders, and I wouldn't start either of the tight ends. They don't seem to be producing much this year. My Bears moneymakers, DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, and Cole Kmet. DJ Moore is due for a big one now. My Bears nose, Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, and Rashawn Johnson. Yes, Caleb Williams will be throwing DJ Moore the ball, but as far as his individual stats go, I still think, you may want to start him if you have no other choice. He's good, obviously, for a few rushing yards here and there. However, I think you're better off starting those guys I listed above. Alrighty, let's get the AFC North rivalry battle. Ravens at Bengals. My Ravens moneymakers, the usual suspects, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Zay Flowers. The unusual suspect in my Ravens nose, Mark Andrews. Oh my God, what happened to him? He has just gone on vacation somewhere. Justice Hill and Rashad Bateman. But who knows? Mark Andrews as well could be due for a good game. Justice Hill, he just had the game of his life. That's why I feel like there could be a bit of a drop-off there, but there's no harm in starting him if you absolutely have to. My Bengals moneymakers, Jamar Chase, same as Justin Jefferson. You got to start the guy every week regardless of the situation. Zach Moss and T. Higgins. My Bengals nose, Joe Burrow, Mike Gesicki, and Chase Brown. Yes, Chase Brown is coming into his own, but I still think, again, he just had a big week. And I always think after a huge week, I feel like there's somewhat of a letdown coming up. So we'll see. Rivalry time. Raiders at Broncos. My Raiders moneymakers. It's not saying much, but Alexander Mattison is definitely the guy over Zamir White. In that backfield, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, and right now Devontae Adams is both injured and I believe they're considering trading him. So for more on that, we will be researching this week. And then my nose, as I just said, Zamir White. Trey Tucker, again, had a big game. He could get you some points this week, but I just think that Jacoby Myers is going to have a blow-up game. And Gardner Minshew. My Broncos moneymakers, Cortland Sutton, the only guy that's getting the ball in that offense. Javonte Williams, again, backfield, they have no choice but to run it to him, so he's getting the ball as well. And if you have a defensive player slot in your particular league, we don't. We use total defense. This is how bad their offense is. I would say pick up Patrick Surtain if you don't already have him. The guy's an interception machine, knocks down a lot of passes, and you're starting him, you'll get some points guaranteed. If you don't have that that individual defensive slot in your league, I would start Greg Dulcich, the tight end. Broncos nose, Bo Nix, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Josh Reynolds. Cardinals at Niners, NFC West matchup right here. My Cardinals moneymakers, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., and if he plays, Trey McBride. You know he's getting peppered with passes when he's in the game. My nose, James Conner, and the only reason I say that is because I love the guy. I think he's a great baller, and he really pushes every week. The 49ers defensive front is pretty great at stopping the run, and I just don't see that opening up for him that much in this particular game. But of course, in weeks to come, he's going to be on my money list. Greg Dortch and Michael Wilson. I think Marvin Harrison is going to be the guy that Kyler is going to try and get as many times as he can with this stout Niners defense. Speaking of the 49ers, I actually don't have any nose for them. My 49ers money pick is to start their entire offense this game. A rarity. Actually, it's the first time we're doing this, so it's not rare or it's not rare. It's just I don't feel like that you can pick wrong in this particular offense. I mean, you got Deebo Samuel, you have James Mason, you have Brock Purdy, you have Jawan Jennings, who went off 2 weeks ago, and this past week he had a pretty good game himself. George Kittle. I mean, it's almost unfair. Brandon Ayuk. There were a blow-up game for Ayuk to have. This is his due game. Giants and Seahawks. All right, we got a bit of an East versus West matchup here. My Giants money guys. Daniel Jones because Malik Neighbors if he plays. If Malik Neighbors plays, he's getting 20 targets in the game. I mean, the guy is crazy football. Wan'Dale Robinson, my next money guy. If Malik Neighbors doesn't play, Wan'Dale Robinson will be your guy. But either way, I feel like Jones will spread the ball nicely. My nose will be Devin Singletary, Daniel Bellinger, and Darius Slayton. Seahawks moneymakers, DK Metcalf, the number one receiver there. Kenneth Walker and Geno Smith. I think that they're going to shred that Giants defense pretty good. My Seahawks nose, Zach Charbonnet, Tyler Lockett, and Noah Fant. All right, Packers at Rams. My Packers moneymakers, Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Jaden Reed. Now with an injury to Christian Watson, Reed's value should go up. We'll see what happens. Also, a little Packers dark horse guy to possibly pick up this week will be Dontavian Wicks. Packers nose, Tucker Kraft, Emmanuel Wilson, and Romeo Doubs. Rams money guys, Kyron Williams, DeMarcus Robinson, and Tutu Atwell. My Rams nose, Tyler Johnson, Colby Parkinson, and Blake Corum. Cowboys at Steelers. This is a classic clash of the former Titans. Cowboys money guys, as usual, CeeDee Lamb. Here's a new one, Rico Dowdle. This guy, pretty good game this past week. He had 14 points. And then Jake Ferguson. Cowboys running game is pretty much seemingly to go through Rico Dowdle at this point. So you got him, start him. My nose, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and Brandon Cooks. Now, Prescott may have a few hundred yards passing in this game, but that Steelers defense is so good, and Dak Prescott has struggled against pretty average defenses this year already, so we'll see what he does. My Steelers money picks, assuming Justin Fields starts and not Russell Wilson, definitely give him a start. He runs, he passes, he does everything. Start him. Najee Harris, George Pickens. Those are the guys that he targets in the game for the most part. My nose, Pat Freiermuth, again, could have a bit of an average game, but I don't think he tops Najee or Pickens. Jaylen Warren, if he plays, sit him, and Van Jefferson, who hasn't been that relevant in that offense this year. He's had a few catches, I believe, but yeah. Saints at Chiefs, Monday Night Football. My Saints money picks, Alvin Kamara, obviously, Chris Olave, and then if he does play, Taysom Hill. They seem to be using him down by the goal line a lot and for quite a few gadget plays. My Saints nose, we have Derek Carr, Jamal Williams, and Foster Moreau. Obviously, Carr's going to get the ball to Olave, but Carr's been struggling the past 2 weeks. I just don't see him putting up huge numbers. Average at best, maybe between 10 and 15 points. My Chiefs money guys, the numero uno, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy with Rashee Rice out, and lo and behold, he's back, ladies and gentlemen, Kareem Hunt. Start him if you got him. My nose, okay, this is so tough to say, but Patrick Mahomes, for this week, bench him in favor of a waiver wire pickup that's available. Sam Darnold and Justin Fields, as I said earlier. Carson Steele, sit him. Juju Smith-Schuster, sit him. And my dark horse pickup of the week, no pun intended, or maybe a little bit. That Denver Broncos defense, yes, start them. Raiders do not look like they're doing much with the ball. I feel like the Denver defense is going to clobber them this week, and you'll thank me for it when all is said and done. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't hesitate to leave feedback, topics you uncovered, formatting. If you'd like your business advertised, you can reach out at s.lieberman1182@gmail.com. That's s.lieberman1182@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to listen, just as you have with me today. We are on every Tuesday, the day after Monday Night Football, and the day before Waiver Wire Wednesdays. Best of luck to everyone in their games this week. As always, see you next Tuesday. This is Coach Couch signing off.
Oh, wait a ticker. Did I say we were done? We're not done yet. Not so fast, people. Stay at your headphones for a little second here for me, will ya? In 2 weeks, Chris Dell is coming on the show. Chris is the founder of BettingPredators.com and the former fantasy football and sports betting lead analyst for ESPN 97.5. He's also the sports editor and fantasy football/betting columnist at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Chris recently won first place out of 235 analysts in the Fantasy Pros 2023 Fantasy Football NFL Draft Accuracy Competition. Never knew there was such a thing, but that's amazing. He's also currently in first place out of 200-plus analysts in the Fantasy Pros 2024 In-Season Accuracy Rankings. Ladies and gentlemen, pets of all ages, 2 weeks, week 6, Chris is coming on the show. Be there, ears buckled, let's go. Coach Couch, signing off for real this time.